unexplainable grace in every single breath, inescapable love guiding every step, like gravity pulling me in. Great migration of my heart, it's calling me home. It calls me over and over and over again. How could I ever fight? Why would I try? Over and over and over again. Will I hear your spirit calling? Why would I fight? The great migration of his troubles. Take heart, for he has overcome all the world and his troubles. Take heart, for God has overcome all our heartache, all our pain. God our healer, he has overcome. God our refuge, God our strength. God is with us, he has overcome. Well, Suncoast, how's everybody feeling this morning? It's so great to be here with you all with this beautiful weather out. It's starting to feel like Christmas. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And just so you know, I'm very thankful for every single one of you. And I'm thankful for this church, this community. It means so much to me and so much to all of us here on stage. And we're just thankful for all of you. It's just this beautiful moment to look out and we're singing these songs together and just see the smiling faces, see everybody singing these songs and these words all in unison. It's just this beautiful picture. And I know you guys don't get to see it. We have the honor of looking back at you guys, and it's just such a beautiful picture. So thank you. I'm thankful for this moment and this time together. So I announced it last week, but we, all of us here on stage, we worked really hard on this first ever Origin Christmas album. And we are super proud of what we were able to accomplish. And it is currently out on YouTube. It's called Christmas by the Creek. It is on our Suncoast Community Church YouTube page currently. We're waiting for a couple of copyright things so that it finalizes on Apple Music and Spotify. So we will keep up on social media when everything's out on all platforms. But if you would like to listen to it now, it's up on our YouTube page. And we're going to be performing all of these songs from this album live on our Christmas Eve services. And if you haven't been to a Christmas Eve service here at Suncoast, it is such a special service. It's a beautiful candlelight service. And we hope that you guys enjoy these songs, and I hope they become a part of your Christmas season and tradition. So we're just honored to be here with y'all this morning. We're gonna keep singing a few more songs. Y'all ready? All right, let's do it.
Home to find my way. There my feet had found a rhythm, my worries seemed to fade. Oh, with battered boots and shallow roads, nothing held me still. Just scattered pursuits of myself without you. What I want, still part of your will. I lean into all my wants and wishes. I lean into my thoughts and wildest dreams, holding on to all my heart's desires in this reckless pursuit of me. In every single line, like casting shadows, seem to read these words I often think. Holding my own breath till my heart expires. This is the place I long to reach. In this reckless pursuit of me. Oh, I lean. Oh, I lean. that you are still shines through my heart as I stand in this divide. Oh, there's a light out in the distance, a voice that carries far. While I'm in all of the stars, you're in all of my heart, knowing those still shine in the dark. I lean into all my wants and wishes, I lean into my thoughts and wildest dreams, holding on to all my heart's desires in this reckless pursuit of me. Oh, every single line casting shadows seem to read these words I often think. Holding my own breath till my heart expires. Is this the place I long to be? In this reckless pursuit of me. Oh, I lean in. Oh, I lean And in your boundlessness, you found this mess. You're only here within it. The same road I walk is the road you run to welcome me home again. Maybe the space that I made was to measure your grace. Still it stretches out beyond to every faded heart in the worlds they part. You shine away home again. And as your tears fall and my fears fail, your love still stands to hold. And every downgrade against love's embrace as the broken lean into hope. And as your love lives to carry on, this light will shine through every dawn to reach the ones who reach beyond and learn to lean into love. I learned to lean into love. Yeah, I learned to lean into love. I learned to lean into
Wide awake in the dead of night, while the world comes apart. You keep watch when my vision is blurry and my thoughts run afar. You step in when the wolves come prowling and the thieves come to steal. 'Cause you don't sleep when my world spins in darkness and I can't tell what's real.
wild exchange you are for us. I gave my worst, you gave your love. Seems hard to believe. You're telling me you chose the cross. You're telling me I'm worth that much. But if that's the measure of your love, how else would I sing? But completely, deeply, sold out, sincerely abandoned. I'm completely, freely, hands to the ceiling and never. Oh, my one life endeavor to match your surrender to me. Self-control is this? When you had angels at your fingertips, but on the cross you remain. And I can't display that kind of love, but I can praise with everything I've got. Since death had all of its power, and just like the grave, Thank you all so much.
Guten Morgen. My name is Sigmund Freud. Here is your weekly practical prescription. Today's subject, self-control. They say self-control is a logical thing. I disagree. You should let your emotions guide you. Make decisions in the moment based on how you feel. True self-control comes from letting your emotions guide you. Thank you for joining me this week on Practical Prescription. Now to my biggest fan, Dr. Troy Doucet.
Good morning, Suncoast. I am Dr. Troy Doucet, one of the teaching pastors here at Suncoast. We're so glad you're with us, whether you're live in person or watching online. Thanks for being here. I got some announcements to give you guys that are taking place in the life of our community. Number one, this is our first Sunday of the month. That means it's Communion Sunday. So right after I finish preaching, Pastor Brett will take everyone in this corner and he will administer communion. So if you would like to participate and partake, just mosey on over here and he will lead you. And I think we actually have like 2 baby dedications this morning. That's always a blast. Next, we have Jesus' birthday bash coming up. That's December 7th. That's a Saturday from 9 to 12. And it's from 3 years old to 5th grade. And pre-registration is sort of recommended because there's a lot of crafts, games, snacks, music. And the kids, the full 3 hours will be taken up by them learning about the importance and the significance of the birth of Christ. So you do not want to miss that. And last but not least, Christmas Eve at Suncoast. Ricardo mentioned it. It is a special time. We had to add an extra service. Our church is growing by leaps and bounds. We did 3 services for the last couple of years. We're adding a 4th. So 1:30, 3 p.m., 4:30, and 6 o'clock. That is going to be an amazing experience, and you want to get here early to get a good seat. And also, this is the time of year where benevolence in our church, requests for help from our community is heightened. So if you feel led out in the foyer, please give. We buy gift cards for people that we distribute throughout the season, and it helps people ease some of the pressure of their financial burdens this year. So there you have it, all of our announcements. You guys ready to jump in? Let's do this. I'm really nervous. I'm always nervous when I preach. But I'm particularly nervous today because this is a lesson that I feel is directly for me. They're all for me, but self-control. Paul writes about these 9 fruits of the Spirit in Galatians. He outlines them. Last week, if you were here, Pastor Larry and I actually helped Paul out. We threw an extra fruit of the Spirit in there, thankfulness, just for the holidays. But for the past 10 weeks, we have done a deep dive into the aspects and the elements of these fruits of the Spirit to give you their significance and the importance that they play or should play in your life. And every week you were given a prescription card to take home, to place in an area of your house where you could see it daily. So when you see it, it acts as a reminder so you can breathe in and breathe out these truths and these principles that we have been teaching. So today is the final fruit of the Spirit. If you want to know about all the other ones, go to our YouTube channel, go to suncoastcommunity.com. All of the teachings are on there. I'm not going to go through the whole amalgam of different teachings because I have a lot to do this morning. When you think of self-control, what comes to mind? What do you think of? Most people, their mind automatically goes to define self-control as some sort of resistance, like avoiding some of those, things we shouldn't do, right? Saying no to temptation, abstaining from harmful desires. And while that's definitely part of it, self-control as a theological idea, as a biblical construct, is much deeper and richer than simply resistance to some sort of bad behavior or managing your impulses. It's not about holding back. It really is about stepping forward and becoming the kind of person God created you to be. In fact, the word for self-control in Greek is this word enkratia. Now, we get another English word from that, demokratia, where we get the word democracy. So, kratia literally means to govern, to oversee. So self-control is really like a self-governance. And modern psychology has literature that is replete about this idea of the importance of self-governance. Why? Because all of us in here are walking paradoxes. We are the sum of a variety of personalities within oneself. Think about it. I'll ask you a question. Last service, all the men were like squirming around, right? Do you speak the same to your children as you do to your friends when you're out and about? Probably not. I kind of let my hair down a little bit when Brett and I are in the office. I might say things that may be a little inappropriate. But when my kids are around, I have to put what hat on? My dad. And that's the truth. We are the sum of various personality traits that come out at different moments in our life. A parent. You have to be a spouse, a friend. I have to be a pastor, a teacher. Some of you are students. Some of you work for a boss. Some of you are the boss. All of you here are members of a church community. So how do we orchestrate these vastly different characteristics of our lives into one harmonious self, as opposed to being this jumbled, chaotic, and conflicting person with different desires and responsibilities? How do we control or govern ourselves when we are many selves that need to be governed? And this is where the theological idea of self-control is very, very important, because self-control is less about avoiding things, and it's really about choosing the right things. Most religions, I've studied religion most of my life. I am a scholar of the Bible and religion. And most religions spend their time on teaching the avoidance of doing bad. Don't do unto others as you don't want them to do to you. Jesus is completely the opposite. Jesus doesn't say avoid doing evil. Jesus says, no, actively pursue doing good. Jesus says, do unto others, not don't do. It's always in the positive, because it's not just about resisting what is wrong. It is about pursuing what is right. And this is the one piece of advice I give my children over and over. They probably are sick of hearing it. I tell them this: get the easy things right, and then the right things will become easier. Brush your hair, bro. Brush your teeth. Make your bed. Get the easy thing right, and then the right things will get easier. It's about aligning our lives to this life that God desires for all of his children. To illustrate this point, I'm going to show you this clip. Many of you have probably seen it. It's pretty old. But it is a psychological experiment that was played upon children. It's ethical, don't worry. In this study, children are given a simple choice. Here's a marshmallow. You can eat it now and fulfill your impulse, or you can wait. And when I return into the room, you'll get 2 marshmallows. Let's watch and see what happens. Check this out.
Okay, sit in that chair. All right, here's the deal. Marshmallow for you. You can either wait, and I'll give you another one if you wait, or you can eat it now. When I come back, I'll give you another one, so then you'll have 2. But stay in here and stay in the chair till I come back, okay? All right. I'm gonna go do something, and then I'll come back.
It smells yummy. It smells really good.
it's up to you. You can have it now or you can wait. Okay? I'll be back. Stay in the chair, okay? Okay. All right, so I'm gonna leave and then I'll come back, okay? So you can either eat it right now or you can wait. Either way, okay? Okay. How'd you do? Did you do good? You did? Yeah. You wanted to eat it, didn't you? Yeah. So did I tell you to give you another one? Okay, now you can have both. You need them.
What a great experiment. You know, this experiment's often used to highlight the challenge of delayed gratification. But self-control is more than just willpower. It shows us that self-control is not just about what we say no to. It's about having the clarity and the confidence to say yes to the things we want most. So as we dive into this teaching, I want to ask you two questions, Suncoast. What if self-control is not just about resisting temptation, but about living into the fullness of God's Spirit that lives within you? And what if self-control is not really about depriving yourself, but about directing yourself towards that life that God wants most for you? Look at what Paul writes. It's a long verse. Hang with me. Listen actively to what Paul is saying, because we all can relate. What I don't understand about myself is this. See if you can relate. I mentally decide one way, but then I act another. Doing things that I absolutely despise. So if I can't be trusted to figure out what is best for myself and then actually do it, it becomes obvious that God's instructions are necessary. But I need something more because I know God's expectations, but still can't achieve it. It's as if the power of sin within me will define that in a moment. It keeps sabotaging my best intentions. I obviously need help. I realize that alone, I don't have what it takes. I can will it, but I can't do it. I decide to do good, but I don't really do it. And I decide not to do bad, but then I do that anyway. My decisions in my mind don't always result in the actions in my life. Any parents in the house? Something has gone wrong deep within me, and it seems to get the better of me every time. It happens so regularly, it's almost predictable. The moment I decide to do good, sin is there to trip me up. I truly delight in God's commands, but it's pretty obvious that not all of me joins in that delight. Parts of me covertly rebel, and just when I least expect it, they take charge. I've tried everything and nothing helps. I'm at the end of my rope. Is there no one who can do anything for me? Isn't that the real question? And the answer, thank God, is that Jesus Christ can and does. His actions and teachings were done to set things right in this life. And listen to what he says, a life that is often full of contradictions, where I want to serve God with all of my heart and mind, but I'm pulled by the influence of sin to do something totally different. Anybody relate to that other than me? Absolutely. Here's point number one. I want to clarify some things for us as we get along. The first one is this. The symptom is not the sickness. Paul expresses this internal struggle I think we all can relate to is that the things I want to do, I don't do. And the things I don't want to do, I end up doing. And this lack of self-control is often labeled in the evangelical Christian community sin, the bad behavior, the giving in to the impulses, the harmful decisions we make. Sin. Let me say this very clear. That is not sin. That is a symptom of sin. Just like a cough is not the sickness itself, the cough is caused by a sickness. No one wakes up one day and goes, serial killer. Sounds like a great career move for me. Maybe I'll be on a Netflix special. Something happens that in that person's life that precedes the harmful addictions, the harmful decisions that they make. The symptom is not the sickness. Lack of self-control is caused by something else. Let me let you know what sin really is in the way that the Bible frames it, in the way that Jesus teaches it. Sin is the Greek word hamartia. It means to miss the mark. Here's the greatest sin we have. When I come to believe that there are things that I have done in my life that disconnect me from God. You can never be disconnected from God. You can only live with a delusion that you are disconnected from God. Psalm 139 lays it out very, very clear. There is nowhere I can go where God is not. If I make my bed in the highest of heavens, you are there. And if I make my bed in the lowest of hells, you are there. There is no place I can go. Sin is not so much this moral flaw that we have within ourselves. It is a state of belief that you have come to believe about yourself. You guys following? You catching what I'm putting down? Sin is this belief that you've come to believe over time that has come solidified in your mind that you're a dirty, rotten sinner. Born unworthy of God's love. When you accept this idea about yourself, it gives your mind over to the delusional belief that you are somehow separated from God simply by being born. That makes no sense. Absolutely zero sense. Let me say it this way. Every action a person makes in their life, whether it's good or whether we label it bad, it comes out of where they are planted and rooted. Take an acorn, right? When I plant an acorn, what's gonna grow? An orange tree? No. When I plant an acorn, an oak tree is going to grow. There's nothing wrong with the seed. There's always something wrong with the soil. Because if I plant that same acorn in a rocky terrain, it's gonna limit its potential. And some of us have been planted in toxic environments, and that's what's grown in our life. Some of us have been planted in rocky environments. You've had a tough upbringing. And some of us have been planted in soil that's just not very deep when it comes to understanding God, and it stunts our growth. But if the seed is connected to a soil that is life-giving and nourishing, it will grow into its full potential. The symptom is not the sickness. Lack of self-control is not the sickness. There is something before it. Because sin is not always about being bad. Most of the way the Bible talks about sin is being enslaved to wrong beliefs about God, incorrect teachings about who you are. Let me clear it up for you today. You are God's child, loved unconditionally, unshakingly by the King of the cosmos. You're God's child. I want to say it like this. We think sin gets corrected. Don't do that. That's part of it. Let me tell you how sin gets overcome, by being connected. Not correction alone, but connection. I want to be connected in a community that values me, that loves me, that sees the potential that God sees in me. And yes, I've made some mistakes and I have some flaws in my life, but I want to be around people who could see beyond that, to know that the symptom is not the sickness. Point number 2, I love this. Change the picture, then you change the pattern. I agree with Paul with that paradoxical teaching, man. The things I want to do, I don't do them. And the things I don't want to do, I end up doing them. But what we do as humans is we always focus on the wrong behavior, right? It's easy to see when someone screws up their life or they make a decision that's just detrimental. But I want to ask something that we're scared to ask as Christians, as followers of Jesus. What feels right to that person about that wrong decision? Have you ever stopped to ask that? For many people, these harmful behaviors have become a pattern that actually brings temporary peace or relief or escape from a stressful state. And these bad behaviors that we label may provide them a sense of calm or control in an otherwise chaotic life that they live. Some people overeat because it brings them emotional relief. Some people overachieve to overcome feelings of inadequacy. Some people use drugs to escape past trauma in their life. Some people overuse social media to distract yourself from the mundanity of life or the boredom of it. And some people are just people pleasers because they need and have a longing sense for approval. So here's what I want to say. The problem isn't humanity's desire for peace. We all want it. But it's the way we pursue it. Dr. Judson Brewer is a neurologist, and this is what he says. Cognitively speaking, neurologically speaking, our habits are formed when we repeatedly seek short-term relief for long-term pain, even when we know these habits will hurt us. So we have to change. You want to change the pattern? You got to change the picture. Because here's where missing the mark, every sin, again, remember what sin is this belief I've come to accept about who I am in God's eyes. It begins here before it ever happens here. The imagination is more powerful than your willpower. God has given us an imagination, and this imagination should be used to imagine the kind of person you want to become. Willpower alone can't do it. It's like trying to steer a ship with a broken compass. Willpower might get you where you're going for a little bit, but here's what I want to say. Imagination gives you a clear direction, because without a clear direction, you're going to be drawn into old patterns of distraction. If you change the picture in your mind about who you really are, you will change the pattern into what you're becoming. You guys following? It starts here. Change the picture of who you are. I long to be like Christ, knowing that I will never be like Christ, but I still long for it. Self-control in that way is never a burden. It's always a blessing. If you change the picture of who you see yourself as, you will change the pattern of your life and who you are becoming. Here's the last one. Last point. Self-control is a lifelong game of learning to choose what I want most over what I want now. In the moment, oftentimes we have decisions to make about what we want to become and how do we want to live and what type of reflexes that we have to certain situations or circumstances. And oftentimes humans, our unhealthy habits are really just quick fixes that we've learned to adapt to. They're impulsive reactions to something. Why do we do those things? Because they're just easier. It feels more satisfying to have that in the moment satisfaction. But if you stop and you pause before you lash out against the person you love or the person who cut you off or before you take that 5th drink of whiskey or whatever it is, if you stop, you go, wait, what do I really want most more than just what I want now? I want peace. I want health. I want meaningful relationships in my life. I want spiritual growth that is significant for my life. And here's what you become to realize when you stop and you contemplate about the choices you make. You'll find this, that a quick choice pulls you further from the rich life God wants for you. Self-control is not just about avoiding, it's about choosing. On our own, we humans, we wrestle with inconsistency and frustration. But when I surrender my life to God's guidance, I find strength that goes beyond my own willpower. Here's what God's Spirit says to me when I try to think about self-control. God's Spirit does not simply encourage me to say no to what is harmful. It empowers me to say yes to what truly satisfies my heart. One of my favorite theologians, his name was Dallas Willard. He was a professor of religion at the University of Southern California. He wrote this book called The Divine Conspiracy. I must have read that book 18 times. And he says this: the Spirit-filled life of following Jesus is not about trying harder. It's about training wiser, aligning my choices with God's presence and power that's already in my life. Because over time, I think if we were all honest, what we want is we want to imitate Christ. You know what that word is? It means disciple. I want to be a disciple of Christ. A disciple does what his master has already done. But you know what root word of disciple? It's discipline. Boy, we hate that word. But here's your practical prescription for today. I choose eager discipline over easy distraction. Let me pray for you, Suncoast. Father, I pray for my friends, my family, my community. God, that this challenging teaching would open up our hearts and mind to see that the self-control that you desire for us is not about avoiding or resisting. It's about choosing and deciding what is best for us. So God, power us up to make those choices daily. It's in the strong name of Christ we pray. Amen. Stand with me, Suncoast. I'm gonna do something a little different. To illustrate this, usually we tell a very heartwarming story, but I want you to see something. I want you to see this little vase, whatever you call it. This is your life. It's yours. It's a gift. It's one of our practical prescriptions, right? Thank you for my life. It's a gift. And the great responsibility that God has given each one of us is that we get to decide how to fill this thing up. We get to decide. Now, I want to use these golf balls as an example. These golf balls, I want them to represent the big things in your life, the things that matter most, the things you imagine most that you want to become. I want to follow God with all of my heart. I want to learn about the teachings of Jesus at this deep level. I want to be a good dad. I want to be a good husband. I want to be a good father, brother, son, daughter. Boom. Looks full, doesn't it? Full of all the good things. But yet there's still room for maybe these black pebbles. We want to kind of represent sort of the still important things, but not as big. Maybe these are your hobbies that you're passionate about. Maybe it's your work that you love to do. Maybe it's the friendships you have. Boom, look. My life looks full now, doesn't it? But wait, there's always room. Here's the sand. These are the little nitpicky distractions. The stress you feel. The bills you have to pay. Maybe that argument you got in that wasn't really a big deal, that you made a big deal with your significant other or family member. All these distractions, social media, someone ticked you off. Now look at that. How does this relate to self-control, Troy? Well, here's the lesson. Remember, self-control is not about avoiding. It's about choosing. What would have happened if I would have put the sand in here first? Then I'd have no room for what? The big things, the things that matter most in my life. Family, God, being a good dad, a good husband. It would have left very little room for me to fit that in. So my question to you is, What are you choosing now over what you want to choose most? Because that's what it's really about. When we let the Spirit guide our priorities and the control we have over our life, we're empowered to fill our lives first with the things that matter most, because then those things will most matter. What are you going to fill your life up this week with, Suncoast? My prayer is that you begin to fill your life up with the good things, with the big things of God, with the becoming of the person God wants you to become. Can we do that? Think of how the world will change. Self-control. It's not about avoiding, it's about choosing what is best. Go in peace, Suncoast. Have a great Sunday. We'll see you.